money advice that we get given that I don't really think works anymore. We often get money advice from our parents, our teachers, from adults, and just the world in general.
If you want to buy a home, why don't you just stop going to brunch and eating avocado on toast?
And while a lot of it means well, I don't think that a lot of money advice really applies to us millennials or Gen Z anymore. And I wanted to discuss this in this video. And I also wanted to credit Su Yin for giving me this video idea.
Trust me, just buy a property. Property is the best investment. The stock market is too risky.
So I think that older generations really love property, and I can understand why. You get to leverage your money, and the property market has gone through a massive boom over the past couple of decades. But I don't think that property is the only investment we can be making, and I still think that there are other really great investment options for young people, especially since property can be really difficult to break into. The reality is younger people have to spend a lot more time saving up to buy their first home. Because while wages haven't grown that much over the past couple of decades, property prices have climbed a lot over the past couple of decades, and they have been increasing at a more rapid rate to our wages. Plus, there are some young people that don't really want to own a property. So I think it is all up to the individual and what your personal investing goals are. I think there definitely are pros and cons to different types of investments. The property market can be a really great investment, but it can also be quite time consuming and it is very hands-on. Whereas the stock market, you can invest in the stock market quite passively using ETFs and index funds. And you can also still generate really, really good returns from the stock market as well. So I think it all depends on the individual and what you personally like to invest in. Even though I do like property, I think that there are so many other opportunities that young people can invest in. And property isn't the only way to build wealth.
If you want to reach financial freedom, just marry somebody from a rich family.
So the next piece of money advice is to marry someone from a rich family. And the reason why I don't think that this works anymore is because one salary used to be enough to support a whole family, and now barely 2 salaries can support a whole family. And I really don't want to say this because I do love my boyfriend a lot. We've been together for 6 years, but 1 in 2 couples that get married actually end up getting a divorce. So I don't really think that we can be relying on anybody except for ourselves. And that's why I think financial independence and having your own money and savings is so important, and especially for women. Did you know that women retire with roughly 50% less in their retirement savings than men? And the reason why is that women are more likely to take time off work to take care of the kids, and there also is a bit of a gender pay gap as well. So this can really compound over time, and that's the reason why women retire with 50% less in their retirement savings, which isn't too much of an issue if you are married and you do have somebody else's super or retirement savings to rely on. But if you're a single person and you have 50% less super than the average person, that could be a really stressful situation. And that's one of the reasons why single women in their 60s are one of the biggest groups in the poverty bracket. So even though we don't want to be thinking about getting divorced when we are with somebody, I think it is something that we should still all be mindful of, because we never really know what could happen in the future.
Don't worry about investing now for retirement. You have plenty of time. Plus, we have the pension.
So the next piece of money advice I don't really think applies to us anymore is that we really shouldn't be worrying about retirement, because there's always the age pension. And even though we still do have the age pension, I have noticed this number getting lowered and lowered and lowered every single year. And as we know, inflation increases every year. So every year our money is worth 2% less because of inflation. So the pensions aren't really rising with inflation, and if anything, they're actually decreasing. So I think that by the time that we retire, we might not even have a pension to rely on. And that's the reason why I'm personally definitely planning for retirement, even though I'm in my 20s. Even though it is quite sad, I think that a lot of young people do need to start thinking about their retirement pretty early on in their career, because we don't want to get to a situation where we're in our 60s or our 70s, we can't really work anymore, and we don't really have enough money to live comfortably. So that's why I think it's so important for us to get ahead of this early. Even if we only just set aside $50 per month, that will still be a lot of money by the time that we do retire. So the next piece of money advice, which is actually a really good piece of money advice, and that is to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and make sure you smash the like button on this video.
Make sure you study hard so you can be a doctor or a lawyer. Those are the best jobs.
The next piece of money advice that I don't really think applies to us anymore is that we need to study hard so that we can become a lawyer or a doctor. And those are the only two careers that are really going to work well for us. Nowadays, I think that there are so many opportunities to self-study. For example, I actually dropped out of my law degree and now I'm working in marketing, all from experience that I learned off the internet. Nowadays, I think that there are so many jobs outside of just being a doctor or a lawyer that pay really well and have amazing work-life balance and perks. For example, if I could do my time again and I could go back to being 16 years old, I think that the career path that I would have chosen would have been something in IT or software development or something like that. People in software and tech earn so much money and the work-life balance is amazing. And also, there aren't that many people in those fields, because I think that a lot of people get scared off and, they think that it's only for really smart computer people. But I really think that if you're passionate about it, you can pick anything up. And I think that learning how to code and technology skills are just going to become more and more important in the future. For example, for me, even though I work in marketing, it's not your traditional marketing that I think people used to be doing decades ago. I'm not doing a lot of billboard ads. I'm not doing a lot of TV commercials. The marketing that I specialize in is pretty much digital ads and CRMs, and also website optimization. So I still do need to learn a little bit of code and a little bit of web development in order to do my job properly.
Never, ever, ever talk about finances openly. People will judge you.
So the next piece of money advice, which I don't really think applies to us anymore, is that we shouldn't be talking about money and personal finances openly. And I don't mean that we should be shoving our money and our personal finances in everybody's face, especially when people are uncomfortable.
Hey fellas, look what I found in my pocket!
But I do think that it is important to be open with our friends and our family about personal finances, so that we can all learn from each other and really grow our wealth together. I think that now the good thing is our generation, I feel, is a little bit more comfortable talking about money and personal finances, and people are definitely opening up to the idea of being open with their personal finances. So I think that that's really nice.
Don't start a business, it's way too risky.
And I do think that starting a business obviously does have risks, but I think that there are some really great opportunities for young people to start building their own wealth and start getting to financial independence by creating their own businesses. Nowadays with the internet, there are so many opportunities to really do something that you're passionate about. And there are so many different side hustles that you can start on the internet. And some of them don't even cost that much to start up. For example, I started my YouTube channel a year ago just by using my iPhone. I didn't even have a camera. I didn't have a microphone at the time, so there was no risk for me. I didn't actually spend any money starting the YouTube channel, and I just started to spend a little bit of money here and there as I started to see it get more traction. And I think the same applies to an online business as well. You really don't need to be investing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into your online business in order to make it a success. I think that if you can just invest little bits of money here and there, it really can turn into something that you really are proud of. And I honestly think that there is a side hustle out there for everyone. And I think the key is to really just start. I've started multiple side hustles. Some of them really didn't work at all. Some of them worked quite well and I'm still doing today. But I think that the key is just just starting and just giving it a go. Even if your side hustle fails, it's not the end of the world because you would have learned something new that you never would have learned if you didn't start that side hustle. So if you're looking for a sign to start your side hustle or your business, you've just found one. So those are some pieces of money advice which I don't really think applies to us anymore. And I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you have any other pieces of money advice that you don't really think applies to us anymore? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! And if you'd like to see some more videos, I've got some links to some videos here, so make sure you click the links and click through to another video.